So let's talk a little bit about you. What inspired you to become a psychologist that helps couples?
We didn't see a lot of examples around me of loving couples. I saw a lot of examples of fighting and problems and heartbreak, and I really didn't think love was possible, real love was possible. And so I went on this search to understand if it was, and studied everything I could get my hands on. And I'm very happy to say that I did discover that, in fact, there are plenty of couples who are in love and have lasting love relationships, and I was able to create the most amazing, incredible relationship for myself with my husband of over 25 years now. And it's something, that I want to share with people, even if they've been hurt, they've been betrayed, they've been left, even if it seems impossible.
What is it about couples that makes them be in denial and be so enthusiastic and optimistic that when it comes to their relationship, they think nothing will happen, even though there's 50% divorce rate? Is this true in your practice, and why is that?
We are very good at being in denial and pretending or thinking that everything's fine when it really isn't. And that is because everybody these days is busy. We have so much going on. We have work. We have, taking care of children or taking care of parents, or even just the social, the Facebooking and staying in touch with people and every which thing that's calling our time and attention, just all the time. And so it's easy to lose track of where your love relationship is. It's easy to kind of go on autopilot where you're just kind of kissing each other and it's not really heartfelt and you're just going through the motions or not even doing that much. And yet you're kind of assuming that everything is fine. And yet I can tell you that so many times when I did couples therapy, someone would come in and be completely shocked because their spouse left them. They just left them. And they had no idea that it was that bad.
What percentage of couples that you see come to you for a healthy checkup versus a repair or to fix it up?
Very rare that couples ask for any kind of healthy checkup. Usually, and I don't see couples directly anymore. I have these amazing love mentor coaches who work by phone and Skype with people all over the world, and they're incredible. And the people who ask us for help, often they're in the beginning stages of a relationship. They want to make sure that they can seal the deal and actually make it happen. They're in that beginning stage where they don't know what's happening, and it's very anxiety-provoking. You don't know if you're a couple, you're not a couple, or you don't know if there's going to be a lifetime together or not. And so they want help about that. Or they will contact me and ask for one of my love mentoring sessions with one of my expert love mentors because things are so bad. One person may have cheated and they're just having a terrible time, or they're fighting all the time, and things seem very, very close to the end, like the relationship is dying, and so they're very worried about that. And, if more people would actually have a healthy couple checkup, that would save a lot of grief, a lot of fighting, and a lot of anxiety and depression and suffering. It would save and prevent a lot of suffering, but most people just don't do that.
At what stage of the relationship do you think they should seek professional help?
Well, early as possible. I think, especially, like now, for example, I'm able to have my love mentors give free 40-minute consults. And certainly, people can take advantage of that, and it doesn't even cost anything to have, a little bit of professional coaching and input about what's happening in their relationship. The earlier you intervene, the better off you are. It's like a car that's going off course, and if you can correct it and turn the car so that the wheels are pointing in the right direction before it really goes too far, you can save yourself a lot of grief. And so I would say people should actually take advantage of this free love mentoring session. They can go to lovin90days.com/coaching and take advantage of that. I really don't know how much longer we'll be able to offer that, but we have been able to offer that precisely because I wanted people to be able to get help and create lasting love, no matter what.
I would highly recommend couples to take on the opportunity to do that. And in your opinion, what are the top 3 things that sabotage a healthy and long-term relationship?
Taking each other for granted. And that is a big, big problem because the way our brains are wired to get used to things, and it's something called habituation, where the brain just gets used to something. It's like you get something new and you're fascinated. It's like anything else. You get something new, you're fascinated, you're interested in it, but then you lose interest after a while. Well, it's the same with a partner. You start out pretty great often, and then you lose interest in each other. You take each other for granted, and that's a very, very dangerous thing because you have to continuously seal the deal. It's not just sealing the deal once and having a lifetime commitment, but you continuously have to generate commitment and love and build it all up again, Love is like something that's happening on a tightrope sometimes, and you can fall easily off the tightrope. Even though you think that everything's fine, things can fall apart very rapidly. You can go into a big fight, you can go into a big problem, you can go into being really wounded, and that's something that love does to us. Love is the most painful thing there can be. It's also the most wonderful thing there can be. And so taking each other for granted is a big problem, and I've seen couples break up because of that, because, the husband doesn't feel appreciated. He comes home and the wife barely says hello to him, doesn't give him a kiss, doesn't do anything, doesn't acknowledge him in any way. What I would say is that, you really have to be careful not to take your loved one for granted. There's a very simple remedy for taking people for granted, taking your spouse for granted, and that is throughout the day, send some loving or even sexy texts to your partner. Thinking about you, can't wait to see you, you're wonderful, I love you, XO, anything. It takes you less than a second to text that. Less than a second. But that sets up the stage for the two of you to feel loving towards each other and positive towards each other and to feel like you're best friends. So I would say text your spouse some lovey stuff, some really good loving messages, sexy messages. And make sure that you have a date, that you go out together. I would say at least once a week that you go out and have a date. Very, very important. And that will stop you from taking each other for granted. The second problem that I see a lot that can destroy a really great relationship is letting sex fall to the bottom of the to-do list. Again, we're so busy. And then, we're working, we're taking care of the kids, we're making dinner, we're doing errands. And then by the end of the day, we're exhausted. And so what happens? We fall into bed, but we don't fall into bed to make love. We fall into bed to go to sleep. And sex has fallen to the bottom of the to-do list. It's fallen to the bottom of the to-do list. That is a very, very dangerous thing because sex really bonds you. Good, healthy sexual relationship bonds you together. It gives you positive associations to each other. It's a pain reliever. It creates oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone. It's just a fantastic, fantastic activity to do together, and you have to cultivate sex. Again, because of getting used to each other, et cetera, sex can be less inviting, less interesting than when it was in the beginning. So, what you need to do, the antidote to that, is to actually plan for sex.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the planning, it's like planning to go to an amusement park, You you may not feel like it when you're actually going online to buy the tickets or making a MapQuest. You don't really feel like it. You don't feel like doing a long drive to the amusement park, right? What happens when you get there and you ride the roller coaster?
Right, the rush.
The rush, you get the energy, you feel good, right? You feel really good. It's similarly planning for a sexual encounter, even if you don't feel like it, and really going through with it and having fun with it and being creative with it will just, I mean, it's just fantastic for your relationship. It's fantastic, and it's a smart thing to do. Wouldn't you agree, Lorna?
Right, it's almost like working out. You know, once you get in the gym, it feels great.
And maybe, you know, at the end of the day, you don't want to have sex. You're too tired. You want to get in your pajamas and just, you know, watch the TV or something. But, you know, if you set up with your partner that you're going to create something fantastic, you know, you get in a bath and you get your perfume on and you get your, you know, sexy outfit on and you see what happens. The other thing is being very critical and not appreciative. And criticism is one of the real killers of a relationship, especially if it gets into the level of contempt. It can destroy your relationship completely. And contempt is when you're on your high horse and you're looking down at your partner and you think that they're not as good as you. And I remember one case, wonderful love mentor, Tamara, she had a case with a couple, and they were fighting and fighting and fighting, and what was going on was the woman was being incredibly critical of the man. I mean, she was very, very, very critical of him. It's like he couldn't win. Nothing he did really won. And he was on his way out. He was really, you know, spending time away from her, not wanting to come home after, you know, after work, and kind of spacing himself away from her. And when Tamara, you know, said to the woman, you know, this is going to destroy your relationship and really raise the red flag, the woman really, you know, she got control of herself because she was being very emotional with it too. And Tamara helped her to learn how to calm herself down and how to be more appreciative of her husband. And they're now madly, madly in love. They're madly in love. Which goes to show you that you can turn a relationship around. You really can turn a relationship around. And so if you're suffering with a lot of criticism going on in the relationship, in fact, it doesn't even matter if you're the one being criticized or the one doing the criticism. One antidote to that is to actually think of 3 positive things about your partner or your relationship each day and write them down and actually express them. Because what will happen is you will turn a negative situation around into a positive situation. And that's what you want to do. Because believe me, you don't want to go through a divorce. You don't want to go through a breakup. Usually. If you can save the relationship and make it better, that's usually much more in your best interest.
Generally, couples know what they want. It's okay to ask. It's just how you ask without criticizing your partner.
Well, you know, it's very important to have what I call straight talk, which is the truth. But what you should do is start it with the magic phrase. And the magic phrase is, I would really love it if, and then you fill in the blank. I would really love it if you took the garbage out. I would really love it if you gave me a hand with the baths with the kids. I would really love it if you took me to this fancy little restaurant. Oh, I would love it so much. It would make me so happy. You cannot expect anybody to read your mind. They're not going to read your mind. They do not know. They just don't know. And often they don't even remember. You may have told them what you really need and what you really want, but they sometimes... And so you're better off just saying the straight truth. I would really love it if you rub my back. I would really love it if you kiss my neck. You know, that's, you know, physically. I would really love it if you held my hand. It's fantastic to say these things. It gives your partner a chance to win with you. It gives your partner a chance to really come through.
All right, thank you. That's a great advice.